Now, a local filmmaker wants your video for a project recording Suffolk in isolation. Ryan Kent founded Caffeine Films last year and joins us this afternoon. Afternoon to you, Ryan.
Hello, Lesley. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Not too bad. Everything given, you know.
Yeah, bizarre. I mean, you only set this business up last year, so I guess at the time you didn't expect to be sitting at home doing this.
No, definitely not. I mean, I'm fortunate enough that actually up until then and still now, I'm a video editor by trade. So the production side of things is kind of the second arm of what I'm trying to achieve and what I want to do locally and do more production side. So as much as it is, it's a new business and I'm trying to build that, I had been lucky enough to keep, going with everything else up until now. Things are starting to get a little bit dry. So, you got to keep up coming up with new ideas. And this one kind of came to me last week, and I was thinking, I got to do something. I got to do something to keep me active and something that's very community driven. And Suffolk as a place, we're lucky to have so much on offer around, but we're completely without being able to really use and utilize that now. So let's look at how people are dealing with it, and let's create a documentary about how people are dealing with things. And that's why I thought this is a great time to do it. I've got to keep myself motivated, and hopefully it will give something to look forward to looking at and looking back on. Hopefully once all of this is passed and we never have to really deal with this again.
And there's a huge opportunity here, isn't there? Because we all have our phones, so and there is going to be so much film taken, but unless someone does what you do and take it and actually save it and put it into viewable format, it's all going to be lost in a way.
Exactly. But that was what I think is. I think probably now more than ever, people are documenting their daily lives, whether that's just for fun or they've decided that actually they want to have something that they can look back on. But I think if we could bring it all together and create something that brings interest to everyone in Suffolk, so we can go, wow, that was an unbelievable time. It was scary, but also at the same time we learned a lot, and a lot of things that we've probably taken for granted, we're now sort of looking at things completely differently. We're probably connecting with people that we haven't spoken to for ages. So seeing people talking to maybe family members that they didn't speak to as much, friends they hadn't spoken to in years, suddenly. And everything like that it's just being, people are documenting it, people are filming themselves talking, we've got screen recordings, Zoom meetings, all of that stuff. We've got so much stuff, and I think there's something we can create from this. And obviously it's very early stages, how it's all going to work out, I'm not 100% certain yet, but as soon as things start turning up, I'll be able to get a better idea of how to piece this together. And I do think it could be something that we could take a positive from, even though there's obviously going to be a lot of there's hardship around this time, and there are people losing loved ones. But we have to take from this a very positive experience somewhere, somehow. And I think if we can look back at it and say, wow, that was life-changing, let's make sure that we take from this as much as we can.
Yeah, there's stories of people pulling together to make face masks, to make scrubs. I'm just blown away by the way people have worked so close. Even though they're in isolation, they've come together, and there are sort of community groups right on the ground have set themselves up, and they're delivering. It's just, there are some phenomenal stories. So what do you want, and how do people get it to you? What do you suggest?
So at the moment, I have a website, caffeinefilms.uk, and / Suffolk Film will get you to basically the very loose brief of all the kind of things we're looking for. That sort of footage of just around the house, how people are now working from home, if they're doing that, homeschooling, new routines, how they're keeping connected. So that's got like a list of all of those things. And then obviously we're looking for like diary entries. The absolute brilliant thing, which would be great, is to get those people who are frontline workers as well, because I think they're going to tell a completely different side of the story. So we're looking for that as well. But that's all up on that website. So that's caffeinefilms.uk / Suffolk Film. And there's an upload page there as well. So you can see that on that page. There's basically like a Dropbox where you can just drop your films and they come straight to me. Nothing more has to be thought about it. You just tick the box to say you're okay with that to be used. Easy peasy. There's also a direct link to that, which is caffeinefilms.filemail.com. So that if you can't be bothered to read all of what we want and you just want to send me stuff, that's the direct link to that.
Brilliant. It is, and the more you think, there is more and more, isn't there? I think the society that we're in at the moment is split down the middle. People who are working extra hard, people are working harder than they normally do, so not getting much time to rest at all. And then the rest of the population is sitting there twiddling their thumbs and thinking how they're going to fill this time. It's bizarre, isn't it?
Exactly, and that's exactly why I want to kind of make sure we get a really broad spectrum of stuff where we've got people who are really kind of saving our lives. That is essentially what it is. And then we've got the people who are having to adapt their lives. They can't go to work. They're working from home if they can, if they're able to, if they're even still got a job, because we even know with all these amazing schemes, people are still losing their jobs, which is horrible. But then those people also then have families that they need to homeschool. So there's such a broad variety of stuff that we really love to cover to make this film something that we can really go, wow, you know what, these people are amazing. Everybody who is, adhering to the rules and helping one way or another get through this. It's such an amazing story, and like I said, it's terrible, but there has to be positivity to take from it, and hopefully that's what we'll gain from this.
And it's history. It's a time in history, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And we need to record it in the same way as we recorded Second World War, First World War as well. Tell me a bit about you then. What have you done before you did this? So,
like I said before, is essentially I've been in the media for. I counted this back yesterday. I think it was your producer, Jonathan, who called me, and he made me feel a little bit older. But I think I've been doing this. I've been in the media industry since I finished university. So I'm 34 years old now, so 13 years. I started originally in a little Suffolk business, and then after that company sadly didn't last very long, which was a shame because it was my first job after university. I was like, okay, this is going to be a hard career to crack if companies don't survive. Roll on 12 years. I've worked in London for 6 years at a post-production house where I basically worked through the ranks, like editor assistant, then an in-house editor. And then 5 years ago, I went freelance and moved back to Suffolk, started a family, got married. And then, so the last 5 years I've been sort of in and out of London doing freelance stuff, working at various companies. And then the last year has been all about trying to get this company up and running. So doing production for local companies, and I do a lot of film work for the university as well of Suffolk. So, that's me. That's pretty much everything for the last 10 or so years.
So getting your name out there. And why Caffeine Films?
Oh, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only person who wakes up and starts straight on the coffee every day. Without that coffee, it'd take a lot longer to get the day started.
That's very good.
There's nothing more to it other than it's coffee based.
But it is memorable as well. So that's a good, which is what you want, isn't it? Which you need
Absolutely.
as well. Well, keep posted. Keep us posted because I hope you get lots of stuff coming in. I'll share, or you can share your Facebook. Have you got a Facebook page?
We're on all the social, so it's at Caffeine Films HQ. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the website is caffeinefilms.uk. But right now, more than anything, caffeinefilms.uk/Suffolk Film, which is where we want people to go to read about, at the moment, very broad idea of what we want to do, and that's where you can upload your footage. So the more, the better. Don't be worried about what it is. If you're happy to share it, at this point, anything is great because it's once we get the stuff, we can start looking at it going, okay, we've got something here. Unfortunately, we've had some great stuff already where one gentleman sent through. I had a chap, I won't give his name away just in case he doesn't want to be on the radio, but he has already been basically documenting, I would say, almost every day. He's been filming himself, doing little diaries. He's been out near the hospital, filming from a distance of on the Thursdays with the clapping for the carers, and he's filmed himself shaving his head. He's been improvising meals, documenting the empty streets when he's been on his daily walks and things. So we've got all this amazing footage, and actually, if that was the core of it, we've got a great starting place, and there's already been some other fantastic little bits coming through from people, very heartwarming stories as well. So, but I'm going to keep a lot of that under wraps because I want to save it for the film.
Exactly.
And if long term, the beauty of this would be if long term, once this is all together and everything, we've got back to some kind of normality. I'd love to put on a screening for this so that actually we can get people back together to look at it together, some kind of free event, and I'm sure we can work that out because we've got some amazing local theatres who have been great with other work I've done already. So fingers crossed, that's what we want to achieve.
Exactly. Well, let's hope we're talking about it maybe a year's time, Ryan. But in the meantime, keep me posted as well. So some of the stuff that's coming through, it gives me a chance to mention it again. Thanks for being with us.
No problem at all, Lesley.
As we all say, stay safe. Caffeinefilms.uk and then find the /Suffolk Film. So have a look, caffeinefilms.uk /Suffolk Films, and upload all your stuff.